Tonight's a very special episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Our very own Clark Gregg is the director of this episode. How'd he do? Let's find out. Hello, agents, and welcome back to Nephilim Entertainment. I'm your host, Metron Uriel. You're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and this is my coverage of episode 6, Fun and Games. Well, the story starts off by basically following around a background character that we've seen in a few episodes here and there. Don't know much about him. We find out his name is Flint, and he actually is living on his own. His parents died when he was a kid, and basically the colony's been taking care of him. I mean, everybody, trades and barters with him, and he gets food here and there, and I mean, he even works out deals with grills, so kid's surviving. Good on you, kid. So, the importance of this kid, we know he's important because why else would you show us? But, episode basically starts off with the Cree harassing kids. Not much is known why. Locals seem to know, but the agents are like, what? Yeah, apparently the Cree are wanting to do, I guess, a pterogenesis because Masta is bringing home some guests. That's not good. No, it's not. No. He's bringing over some company and he wants to put on a good show, so he's starting pterogenesis a little early for our little hens. Meanwhile, we find out that Enoch, our man Enoch, alright, he is strange duck, odd fellow, to say the least. But he's building an alias for our boy Leo. Seems that while Leo is in hyperstasis, whatever you want to call it, what is it called? Anyway, while he was asleep, Enoch has sort of built him up a nice little alias, basically making him sound like a cutthroat and a very, very, very stupidly wealthy person. So he can easily come in there and buy all the Inhumans that Cassius has to offer. So hey, good looking out, Enoch. Let's just hope that it can handle scrutiny. But I like how Leo finds Gemma, of course, and he gives Gemma a nice little speech. So play cool, play cool. I just need to tell you some stuff. Yeah. Gives this big long speech. Very heartfelt. I was like, oh, dude, just right here. It is right here. Whole entire speech. But he doesn't know that Gemma can't hear him at all. Now, I know that chicks give solid treatments, and I'm pretty sure Leo does too, so he probably thought he was getting like the ultimate solid treatment. And what really sucks is the entire time that him and her are playing it cool, he proposes. Like, yeah. Leo pops the question to our deaf Gemma. Yay, right? Well, yeah, until Cassius turns on the volume for Gemma, he might as well just be like, if it was me, it'd probably be a lot of, but, yeah, Cassius and Leo meet for the first time, and that's an interesting little back and forth there. Cassius, I guess, is starting to like Leo, considering that Leo is basically acting like a cutthroat pirate. So, that's always good to sell the bit, right? I mean, Leo is just selling it, right? But, back to our little ragtag group, they are witnessing Inhumans going through Terrigenous. Which, Yo-Yo, she's not handling it too well. She doesn't want to see the kid get hurt. Tess has actually got a bond with Flint. So, excuse me, it's kind of a very heartfelt moment right here. Well, after Terrigenesis goes through, for Flint, we're thinking, oh God, the poor kid's going to end up having a traumatic time. They're going to take him and lock him up in cages and bang the cages and treat him like an animal, and boom, he disappears. Where'd he go? This is power of visibility. That would be so cool. To be on a colony surrounded by hostile aliens, you can go invisible. I would so mess with them so bad. Like, steal their coffee and switch out their lunch trays and give them wedgies and smack them in the back of the head and blame the other guy. Yeah, I'm not very creative, am I? Anyway, find out the reason why Flint was in amongst the rubble was that Yo-Yo come and rescued him and took him off somewhere using her inhuman ability. But you gotta admit, the kid was kind of a little freaked out how somehow she slammed the door and was able to do all this kind of stuff, and he's just standing there like, how'd you do that? What's going on? Are you freaking me out? I need to go back. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Okay, I'm gonna stay right here. And you gotta love how our girl Yo-Yo makes an impression. So we're back to the whole dinner banquet kind of thing, and I really love how Leo really sells the bit of being sort of the ruthless cold-blooded killer aspect. I mean, he is playing a role, right? But given the fact that he spent so much as, leader of Hydra, it's hard to see him not really letting go of that aspect, because to me, seems like he's got a bit of a knack for it. I mean, our boy, was for a long time the sweet, sort of nerdy, shy, somewhat awkward little scientist, and now he's got sort of that mercenary slash killer mindset. I mean, we've seen in one previous episode where, even though it was with an ICER, he lays waste to a bunch of military trained people. I mean, it's not going to be much of a stretch for him to go from that to killer. I mean, Leo, can you really handle the little segue here between the role you're playing and the person you really are? I mean, but the rest of the group, they're trying to figure out a way to hide Flint. Tess has volunteered to take him out somewhere and go hide him. And it's all good. And I like how Esme sort of drops how she learned about, or Esme, sorry, Esme we learn about how she pretty much dropped the information, letting us know how she handled first finding out she was inhuman. And it's all great. But you gotta love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because the way they bounce around, because now we're back to the story and we find out what happens to May. Apparently, she was captured by Sanara, and now she's being forced to fight against none other than our little ally, the telepath. His name's Ben, and we'll find out that May is now continuing to fight against him. Yeah, Cassius don't plan on her surviving this, but the one thing that people don't take into account, and it actually is witnessed in this fight, is that May doesn't always think about her actions. I'm not saying that she don't think about the consequences. In fact, she does that a little too much. No, what I'm saying is that her fighting, her ability to get in a situation and pretty much handle herself, she's a trained agent. Not just been a trained agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's also been a trained agent of Hydra. So she's kind of sort of been on both sides of the fence and kind of sort of just embraced both the warrior and the killer aspect. So, yeah, my point of all that is that May don't think, she uses her instincts. Instincts are not something you think about, and therefore Ben's powers, useless against May. So, yeah, dude, it's pretty much, it's a draw. If May hadn't hurt her leg, I'm pretty sure she would have kicked his ass. That's my opinion. I'm just saying. It's my opinion. But all things come to a bit of an end. May plays the whole Leo being on their corner thing. Leo gets her sent off to the surface. Not good, but May's a survivor. We'll see how that goes. I am liking the fact that Leo and Cassius are having a little bit of a bonding experience, and it's all over Debbie Daddies. Isn't that great? Their turmoil as sons is bringing them closer together as friends. Isn't that sweet? So yeah, they're having a nice little bonding moment, figuring out that they both try to please Daddy, and it never goes so well. So, hey, but while they're bonding, um, Grill busts our group as they're having a bonding moment. Yeah, Grill busts the agents while they're having a nice little conversation with Flint, and apparently Ben gets busted by Cassius. So, ew, we're finding out that it ain't looking too good for our groups. Just when you think that everything's all hunky dory, Girl is starting to have the Inhumans turned in and the others killed, and now Ben's life is at risk with Sonera. So things aren't looking so good for our group. And Ben ends up dying at the hands of Sonera. And Daisy's not exactly taking that too well. She does not like the idea of someone dying by their hands. Her and Gemma actually take it pretty hard, but it's also somewhat becomes their battle cry. They are ready to get revenge and seek vengeance for his death. And in all this, we find out that Leo might not be able to get the group back together because Cassius's brother is going to show up and place bids for Quake. This is not looking good for our group. Things are not exactly going according to plan. And in all this, one moment of relief actually comes. Flint's power actually activates. Now, if it's telekinesis, not entirely sure, or if it's telekinesis, but he's able to pick up rocks and boulders and smash Grill with them. Yes, Flint committed his first act of a human, and it happened to be killing somebody, a guy he actually did business with. So, yeah, Flint's not too comfortable with the notion of killing someone, much less someone he knows and someone he actually had somewhat of a bond with, whether it even be business or whatever. He's not too happy about it. So Flint's not exactly comfortable with this whole thing. And with Cassius's brother showing up now, he's wanting to pit Quake against his best warrior, but that's Sonera. So Cassius, in order to please his brother, who also reports back to their father, is willing to throw her into the ring to a fight to the death. Yes, she is actually being volunteered to fight to the death, meaning either you're going to kill the number one prize, or the number one prize is going to kill you. Either way, thanks for helping me. Look, I'm just going to throw this out there. First thing, I see Cassius getting betrayed by Sonera because of this little show. When you've been faithful and loyal to one prick, and he turns around and is like, you know what? Thanks for doing business with us. I'm going to sacrifice you in order to get further on in life. Yeah, that's going to come back to bite him. I see Sonera coming back and betraying him in the end, either helping our group or doing something that's going to get in the way of his plans to get back at him for what he did. I don't see the Kree being unforgiving. I'm sorry, I don't. But with all this, we find our girl Tess, while she's trying to figure out a way to get Flint safely off the planet, she's discovered and made an example by the Kree, but hung in the corridor. Her body's hung in the corridor. So there goes Tess. Clark Gregg, who directed this episode, apparently wants to kill off a lot of the sort of just the small little characters. First, you had Ben, then you had Grill, and now you got Tess. He's got a big habit of killing off characters. If he directs again, there's not going to be any minuscule parts left. The only one who's left is Drex and Cassius. But he's already trying to kill off Sonera. Let's find out how the rest of the episode goes, because now comes the big fight. And I will have to say, I think Daisy at some point was a little toying with her just a little bit, because I think she could have easily smashed her from the very get-go, but it's all a stage, it's all a ploy, because here comes Leo, who, with the help of Gemma and the help of Daisy all at the same time, plan this big escape, which leads the group to be able to get together with Gemma, Leo, Quake. They take off, and they take off good. Yay, finally, the three of them can get away from the little blue freak. And while this is all going on, you have Enoch, who's going around impersonating a Kree. Where and why this is going to? Who knows? We'll probably find out next episode, hopefully. Alright, up next for the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Cassius wants revenge. Obviously, he wants revenge for everything that had happened. Apparently, the group embarrassed him just a little bit during his nice little banquet with all of his guests and him trying to make himself look good for his brother, and it all kind of blew up in his face. Right, literally. So, with that happening, good news is, though, our group is finally actually back together. The band has gotten back together. And they actually have a new ally now, which is Flint. So, now all they have to do now is just go and rescue May, and then, hey, we can get the show back on the road, find out how to get back home. But surface, yeah, the surface looks even more hostile than we pictured. I mean, we had a picture of it whenever we saw clips of Zep getting killed by the roaches, but now it's even worse, especially since May seems to be struggling on her own, plus with a busted up leg. So we're going to see how that goes. And they don't have any way out because the plane or the ship they were going to use to fly away and get away from everything gets blown up. So our group doesn't look like they have any way of getting off the planet. So yeah, this is not looking good for our group. So with that being said, my question for y'all, just going to throw this out there. Do you think that Sonara will probably get revenge for what Cassius did to her? Let me know up here. I mean, our warrior got betrayed by her master. Not a good thing. Especially since he was willing to bargain for her life in order to please her brother. Yeah, I don't exactly see her being too thrilled about that. So, let me know up here on our little poll. But that's going to do it right for me. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up down below. Post a friendly little comment. Subscribe to my page for more content. Stay tuned to the end of the video for more content. But I'm Metatron, you're out, and you're watching Nephilim Entertainment. To all you daydreamers and creators out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.